Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. But first, take a look at this. Okay, so that's a squirrel in my backyard eating an orange section. Later on, he grabbed a whole half an orange and took off. When my food gets a little bit, less juicy or whatever, because I haven't eaten it all, I tend to put it out for the squirrels, the raccoons, the deer, the fox, the owls, the birds. I want to try to consider the all, and I consider who eats what. I forgot that I had put out some nuts last week, and I couldn't understand why all these birds were like literally knocking on my windows. They were like coming up to the window knocking, like, "Hey, you got any more of them nuts? You bring us some more of them nuts." Anyway, so I was in the car with my granddaughter, and we're riding along, and she was talking, and I was kind of answering her, and I'm listening to a book, and I'm kind of answering her. And then finally she says, "Googie, are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, honey." And she said, "But Googie, are you feeling okay?" And I said, "Yes, honey. What's wrong? Why do you think I'm not okay?" She said, "Well, because you're very, very quiet, and I think you're thinking a lot right now." And I love that she said she thought that I was thinking a lot. She didn't just tell me that I was. And I said, "Yeah, I'm listening to this book." And she said, "Well, it seems like a very serious book." And I was like, "Yeah." So she said, "Well, what is the book?" Like, it's called The City of God. And it's by a man from a long, long time ago, Augustine of Hippo. And she's like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "You want to know why I'm listening to it?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'll be reading it when I go back in the house. But the new Pope is an Augustinian, and there's like 2,500 of them in the whole wide world. And so I want to, revisit this book in terms of, the followers of Augustine, what they see." And so she's like, "Oh, okay. What's it about?" So, well, the city of God is basically, it's about how there's a city of the world, which is the empire, it's political, what have you. And then there's a city of God, which is what we should be trying to bring about. And I said, it's kind of, they were trying to answer some accusations. It's a refutation that Christians calls the fall of Rome. And she's like, "Googie, are we going to get ice cream?" So what does that have to do with the squirrel? In my city of God, I try to waste as little as possible. And I try to share as much as possible. I try to think not just about those who are hungry, who are of the human race, but I think of those who are right in my backyard, of the animal kingdom as well. And I try to realize that all things are connected and all things connect back to God. I love you. Go get some ice cream.